Hi guys, and welcome to this edition of the R.A.D Angling product review. This time round I'm going to be talking you through how to get the best out of what I consider our flagship product. This one. R.A.D Angling Rod Pod. Right then, Rod Pod. When you purchase the system, it comes in one of these. Cotswold Aquarius, British made, very hard wearing pod case. Now, on that side, you'll see you've got your pod base and you'll have four bank sticks. Okay, that's the meat of the pod. In there, put your buzz bars or any of the accessories that we do, the stage stands or the stabilisers or even a couple of spare bank sticks, you know. So that's it, it comes just like that. Now in there, we create this. This version you see here is a 3-rod adjustable buzz bar version. You can get solid buzz bars if you prefer. I know a lot of guys don't like the adjustables, but yeah, it's much more than just a 3-rod pod, because if you remove the pod base from the setup, okay, you end up with these goalpost setup. So now in that bag you've got a rod pod and a goalpost setup, but it doesn't end there. All our buzz bars, as some of you probably know, come like that. Each one of these ports is threaded. So all you do is remove the centre thread, add an additional one for your goalposts or your pod. But if you just leave that like that, just the one, you get a single stick setup as well. So in that bag you've got a 3-rod rod pod setup, 3-rod goalpost setup, and a 3-rod single stick setup. Not your average pod, is it? What I'm going to do now is show you a few variations on the theme and how to get the best out of the kit and how to use it in a few different situations. So if you follow me, let's take a look. Okay, so that's the standard adjustable 3-rod version of the rod pod. Now obviously depending on what water you're on and what the rules dictate, some waters only allow 2 rods, in which case you're going to need a 2-rod setup, which is exactly what this is here. This is exactly the same pod system as you saw earlier, it's just you've got the addition of a 2-rod position buzz bars. You can buy it like this, it's slightly cheaper, or you can buy the 3-rod and then just buy additional bars. Everything we do in the range is interchangeable. This has got a few additions. These little ones are down the bottom here, and the angle are called outriggers. It's for if you're using a 2-rod pod in a sort of a high rod position, you're going to get stability issues as you would on any pod. So we created these. Basically all you do, screw an extra bank stick into these on this angle. That will dictate the height of your pod and the height of your tips of your rods. I'm just going to show you this. Drop it down, it's not dug in the ground at all. I'm going to give it a good old shake. Okay, there you go, stable as you're going to need. 2-rod pod. Right then, now due to the inbuilt versatility of the pod itself, there are obviously many numbers of ways that you can set the thing up, and you'll obviously have a play with it yourself when you get it. But from time to time we find ourselves in situations that necessitate the use of a pod, but you need to do something a little bit different, where 3 rods on a bar, all nice and level, just don't do the job. So I found myself in a situation very, very much like this not long ago, and this is how I got over it. Okay. What it was I was fishing a very weedy lake. I found a spot just over 90 yards, but it was only big enough for 2 rods, and I did fancy the margins as well. So ideally I wanted 2 out with tips up and 1 down the edge with a lighter rod, and I tend to carry a set of 2 1/4 around with me for just such a thing. So this is what I came up with. I split the pod. 2 rod buzz bar, single stick. At the time I just split the pod, but the reason I'm showing you this now is because we've got a new product out. That situation got me thinking, got me drawing, and I came up with this. Very, very simple. So a new splitter bar. Now I use two of these now, one at the front, one at the back. And it allows you to do, amongst and about a million other things, this. Two rods nice and stable, tips up. One rod 2 3/4, right down the edge, tips down. I will say this, I've also used this setup, this exact setup. It's 2 rods and 2 rods on my own syndicate where I'm allowed to use 4, but we've got stages there and I didn't have a 4-rod bar at the time. So yeah, 2 and 1, 1 and 1 if you're piking and you want to split them up, or 2 and 2. All thanks to a new invention, R.A.D angling splitter bar. Last but certainly not least, I want to introduce you to a brand new product for the range. Essentially, the heart and soul of this item is the same as the rod pods I've been showing you, but if you take a quick look you'll see the difference. What we've got here is something that we're classing as our Euro pod. Obviously you can see it's a little bit different to the standard pod in so much as, well, first off, it's a little bit longer. This is not at full extension, it will go out another sort of 8 to 10 inches. This particular setup's got 2 36-inch bank sticks, and at the back there you'll see it's got 2 16s, and it's got our fixed 4-rod buzz bars. Primarily aimed at the guys obviously going to Europe, going to France, whatever, fishing the big pits, got the tips up, rowing the baits out. Outriggers, showed them you earlier. Obviously, you know, they do exactly what they're supposed to do, with the addition of whichever sticks you want. You can use this in the UK, no problem, with shorter sticks. But what I would say is, if you're going to use it in the UK, I'm betting most of the guys out there that will be river anglers, because you convert that to that with the 2 rod bars, and you've got the perfect specimen barbel setup. So there you go, the first reveal of the brand new R.A.D angling Euro or river pod. That's it for this edition of the R.A.D angling product review. If you like any of the products that we've showcased this time round, get yourself on the website. It's radangling.co.uk. So that's it. Until next time, thanks for watching and be lucky.